my name is Marley and welcome to my booktube channel. Today, or I should say tonight, I'm excited to be starting a 24-hour reading vlog or readathon. People call it either thing. Where basically for the next 24 hours, I'm going to try to read as much as I possibly can and hopefully catch up on my Goodreads goal, which I'm currently 2 books behind on. Now, you know, it doesn't really matter. Goodreads goals are toxic, all that, but you know what? I do want to try and hit it. So yeah, if you don't know, 24-hour reading vlogs or readathons is kind of a trend here on BookTube. If you're watching BookTube, you probably know that. I tend to do one of these videos every year since I started my channel. Kind of like a fun little tradition that I have, because you kind of need like a lot of free time to be able to do it. And it's also a little bit tiring as well. As much as you love reading, like it can be very tiring to just read for 24 hours. It is almost 8 o'clock. Yeah, it's like 20 to 8 p.m. So I think I'm gonna start it at 8 and it's Saturday night until Sunday night at 8. But yeah, I had some plans earlier today, otherwise I would have started it earlier. But yeah, I was actually out and about visiting my mom. So I actually have already been reading because I had to take a train there and back. So I've already been reading for hours. Speaking of, I should probably say, just blabbing here, I should probably say what I'm reading. So I have been reading The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I know, like, what year is it? 2010? Actually, when did this come out? 2012, it looks like. So I actually got a pretty decent chunk finished. So this is, I guess, the main priority. Hopefully I can finish it tonight and then focus on a different book tomorrow. Let me grab that one actually. Yeah, so tomorrow, I think I'm gonna go for The House We Grew Up In by Lisa Jewell. These were both books that I chose for my TBR this month from my tarot reading. If you didn't check out my July TBR, I'll link it somewhere and you can watch it. But Lisa Jewell, historically, I read her books in 1 day, 1 or 2 days. So I think this is a safe bet to try and get through tomorrow. So that's the reading plans, the reading goals, mostly to read 2 books because, as I said, I'm 2 books behind in my reading plans. I just had dinner. I am still going to eat a cupcake. So maybe I'll show you that. My boyfriend's in like his baking era, so I need to try his cupcakes that he just made. Okay, I should also talk about what I'm thinking about this book so far. So these are pretty popular YA fantasy series. There's 4 books in the Raven cycle, and I always had a feeling about this that I would like them, but honestly going into it, I couldn't really recall very much details other than a few of the character names being like Blue, Gansey, that kind of, I think just them. But I was never really certain of like the plot of this. So it's actually very, very interesting and right up my alley. So I am like, wow, I think this is gonna be a favorite. I'm honestly sad I didn't read it back in the day when I was younger and just more inclined to liking these types of books, because it probably would have been like a favorite of all time. Not to speak too soon, like I'm only 160 pages in, but I'm really enjoying this. So our main character's name is Blue. She's a teenage girl. She is in this like psychic family, which is pretty cool. I am into that kind of stuff. You know, I'm into tarot. I just mentioned picking my, you know, TBR with my tarot cards, which is funny that then I picked this one. But yeah, so Blue's mom is like a psychic, uses tarot cards, and then all her aunts, and she's a part of a whole community, and they have like real psychic abilities, and Blue also does, but they're different than her family's, where she just kind of heightens people's powers. And what's really intriguing, okay, how do they word it here? So growing up, her family and her mom would tell her that you're going to kill your true love by kissing him. Like she's gonna kiss her true love and that's gonna cause him to die. So she grew up knowing this. Pretty intriguing. We're also following Gansey, and that's his last name. He goes by that because, you know, he's cool like that. He goes to this like private school along with his other friends, and they're known as the Raven Boys because I think the school mascot is a raven, but then there's gonna be some other like kind of double meanings to that, I believe. But Gansey is set on finding the body of this Welsh prince. So if you don't know, that's kind of like King Arthur and all that. It's like dealing with the Arthurian legends, which I love that. I honestly want to read more and consume more content dealing with that, because what I have read and watched dealing with Arthurian legends and stuff, I just really enjoy. So he's looking for the body of a prince, a Welsh prince that's said to be somewhere on the ley lines, something like kind of this mystical kind of stuff. He's involved in that. But he's a very privileged, like rich guy, and this is just his little quest. And then he gets his other friends to help him out, and you know, they each have their own unique personalities, blah blah blah. There's the angry one. Gansey, I guess, is the charming one. There's the poor one that has to, you know, work harder than the rest. Anyway, who's my favorite? Gansey. And Gansey is the guy for Blue, right? The true love that's gonna die, blah blah blah. So anyways, that's the main thing going on here, and I'm just really, I like that whole concept, and I like how it's being done. There's definitely some funny stuff going on. It's interesting because I wouldn't fully expect this from Maggie Stiefvater. I feel like her other books haven't necessarily blown me away, so it's interesting that this is so good so far. I will say one thing that I'm kind of guessing is that, so a lot of stuff, they talk about like reincarnation a lot with the Arthur legends and stuff. So because we know there's something special about these boys, I am suspecting they are the reincarnation of Arthur and like the Round Table. Like Gansey is Arthur obviously as like the leader, because obviously they talk about him being so like charismatic and like the leader. So that's what I'm putting out there as a guess. Anyways, I've been talking too long. Is it 8 yet? Okay, 15 minutes now until it's 8 o'clock. So I'm gonna eat my cupcake and then get back into reading. Checking in. I have changed into more cozy clothes, taken out my hair. It is now 10 o'clock, so it's been 2 hours that I have mostly been reading. Also did the dishes, stuff like that. But I'm very tired. I don't know if I mentioned that this morning I got up like before 8 a.m. I actually like was awake before my alarm even went off because I knew I was gonna have to get up soon. Anyways, I'm super tired. Was maybe not the best plan to do this vlog where I want to stay up late reading on a day I'm super tired, but here we are. I was actually doing my little strategy of reading while I walk or like while I pace across the room. It just kind of helps me like stay awake when I'm really tired reading instead of just sitting. Fun fact, I had to do that a lot when reading Sarah J. Maas books because I would get so bored and tired. The Throne of Glass series, not actor. Anyway, also my boyfriend's laundry is still up, so I have to kind of like film in spots to like not show his laundry that's hanging up. Anyways, so now I am 230 pages in and still really liking it. Blue and the Raven boys are finally kind of all hanging out and working together now, so that's fun. That's what, you know, I've been waiting for. There is, you know, a love triangle vibe, as you can imagine. I mean, 1 girl, 4 guys. There's the potential there. There's the potential for like a love pentagon or whatever. But yeah, it's a love triangle. I love it. I always love love triangles, so I'm here for it. Also, there's a bit of that like fated mate or like fated love trope, right? With there being that sort of premonition about Blue and Gansey. I'm reading his name constantly, but for some reason when I have to say it, it leaves my mind, Gansey. But I like that it's like fated or destined, but like it's gonna be tragic. I can be here for that. But yeah, I think it's pretty hopeful that I probably can finish it tonight because I'm liking it. It's going quick. I also thought I could show you a quick little clothing haul. When I was with my mom earlier today, I bought a couple items, like 3 items, I think. I think the most boring one is that I got these pants. They're kind of like capri or like ankle dress pants for work, just for like for the summer, you know. I kind of just wanted like another option of pants. Then I got 2 dresses. I'm like stocking up on dresses, so I hope I like start wearing them more because I don't necessarily think to wear them that often. But I got this really cute, really comfy, kind of plain black dress, but I can just like wear this anytime, kind of, you know, like it could be casual, it could be dressed up. Kind of like a thick material, which is nice and just kind of simple. I felt like I needed it, you know? And then this is probably the cutest one. Another dress, but it's like white or like a cream color. There's a little more texture to this one, I guess. And I think it's a little bit shorter than that other one, but that's gonna be really cute, especially when I go to Europe this summer. I'm really hoping that the weather will be decent enough that I can wear these dresses. I'm going to the UK, so a little worried it'll be like rainy and stuff. But yeah, that's my little clothing haul. Maybe I'll do my next check-in in another 2 hours at midnight, and we will see where I'm at with the book. Okay, I just spent a bunch of time on TikTok, but back to reading now. She's so cute. She's just sitting here because I was eating popcorn and she wanted some. Aww. Alrighty, it is now midnight and I have 100 pages left of the book, but I think I'm gonna go to bed. Like, I am just too tired to stay up and finish this. But I'm still liking it and everything. I'm just so tired. So before I go to bed though, we gotta change my pod for my insulin pump. So let's do that. We actually had a little bit of a twist to the book, so I liked that. I feel like it was kind of something I had maybe known in the back of my head from hearing about this series, but mostly it was a surprise for me. So I'm gonna get the syringe ready here. Got my insulin. Get the bubbles out. Okay, got my new pod. Gonna put it in this hole. And yeah, all I'm gonna say with that is, you know, justice for Noah. If you know, you know. Okay, so now this pod I'm currently wearing is deactivated, so I can remove it. And this goes back in the fridge. So now my PDM and my pod are syncing up. But yeah, I think this book would be good for people who like really light fantasy, because I feel like, you know, because it's just more kind of whimsical about like psychic powers and stuff. It's not really like, oh, these characters all have a power or they're a mystical creature or there are mystical creatures. Like, it's not really like that. So this could be good for someone who's not like totally into fantasy, but still wants some of that whimsicalness, you know? And the characters are really good. Okay, where am I gonna put this new one here? Here, I guess. Even like Blue's mom's like friends and her aunts and stuff, I quite like those characters too. Like I said, very funny. Now I just hit, it's gonna like insert into me. Ugh, that hurt a little bit, but not too bad. So yeah, now we're gonna go for another 3 days here. New pod active. Love it. Excited to finish up tomorrow. I am liking that the romance situation does seem to be pretty slow burn. I like that in YA. It happens sometimes that the romance is slow burn like throughout the whole series. You either get that or you get like instant love, they're gonna die for each other in the first book, like Twilight. But I like that it's more this slow burn vibe, because I love that. And I have all, you know, all the books in the series because they've been out for like 10 years. So don't have to wait in between. All right, I'm gonna go to bed. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I do have to clean the house and stuff, be a little productive, but as we know the goal, finish this first book and then read the entire second book. See you then. Good morning. It is now Sunday around 10:30. I honestly could not get up any earlier than this. Now it's time to get back into reading. Hey guys, so it is now a little after 12 and I have finished the book. Yeah, I really love this book. I had a really fun time reading it this last day, and I'm so glad that it's a series that is fully released, that I already own, so I can kind of keep going through these books hopefully soon. I think the best part about this book was the characters. I think they were all really well developed, but there's also like hints of like more to come. Like I'm really excited to see where they go from here, and learning more about some of the characters like Ronan, who wasn't necessarily like a main focus. I still like the plot and everything too, but really love the characters, relationship stuff. I'm ready for Blue and Gansey to be OTP. People don't really say OTP anymore, but so this definitely gets a really high rating, whether that's like 5 stars. Sure, I think I'll give it 5 stars. The fact that I could read it in a day, like that's not always possible with every book, right? So I think this does show how much I enjoyed it. Kind of wish I could immediately go into the second book, but I will stick with the plan. I will stick with the plan of getting into The House We Grew Up In next, which I think this is a thriller, or it's kind of just like a literary fiction, maybe borders the line of both. I'll let you know once I get into it, which isn't going to be right away. I think I'm going to eat lunch first and then maybe do a little bit of my cleaning that I have to do. Probably not all of it right away, but yeah, so I'm going to do those things and then I will get into The House We Grew Up In. But for now, basically all I know about this book is that some tragic event happens to kind of tear this family apart, and then years later something else happens that kind of brings them all back together, and then we're exploring like what really happened back when that event happened that tore them apart. That was not a very good description, but that's basically all I know about it. So it does sound more like literary fiction than thriller, but I hope it's a little thrillery though. Okay, anyways, what time is it? It's shortly after 1, so I had my lunch as you saw, and I cleaned a couple of rooms in the house. Still have a couple more to do. As I was eating, I did click on the new Katie Coulson vlog because it was a diabetes vlog, so I'm excited to watch that. I only just started it, but she has type 1 diabetes just like I do, so I'm excited to watch her vlog. She's reading, it looks like quite a few books that I read in my type 1 diabetes vlog that I posted last year, so excited to see what she thinks of those. But yeah, I'm gonna get into my next book now. Hey guys, so some time has passed. It's now 3 p.m. So we have 5 hours left technically in my 24-hour reading vlog, readathon. So I started The House We Grew Up In, and unfortunately I do think I'm gonna stop reading it for the day. I got like 40 pages into it. It is not a bad book by any means. I think it's gonna be pretty good actually, but I should have thought harder about the book that I was gonna pick to, you know, binge read, because I was just thinking, oh, Lisa Jewell, I love her. Her books are normally kind of thrillery. Even though I knew this was going to be more literary fiction, I thought it would still have that thrillery vibe, and it doesn't really seem to have that. I kind of missed the back of the book here. It does have the word hoarder. It's very much following a woman who's a hoarder and like mental illness and stuff, and I just don't really think that's like the vibe for a 24-hour readathon. Like, it's not really that fun, and I want it to be fun, so I might set this down for the rest of the day. And another book that's on my TBR for the month is You're Invited by Amanda Jayatisa, and this is an actual proper thriller, so I think I'm gonna start this actually instead. At this point I don't think I will finish it because I said there's only like 5 hours left until it's 8 p.m. and it looks like this is over 300 pages, but I know this is about a wedding, so it should be like more of a fun setting. The little tagline here says, what could be worse than your ex-boyfriend marrying your childhood best friend, getting accused of her murder? So I think this one will be more fun. So that's what I think I'm gonna hop into. I did finish my chores for the day for the most part. I did a good amount of cleaning, have been catching up with my boyfriend. So yeah, that's the update. here for another check-in. I have been reading You're Invited. It is 5:30 and I'm about 100 pages in, and honestly I'm really glad that I switched. I'm really enjoying this. It's just seeming like a pretty fun thriller, and I'm definitely intrigued by everything that's going on and how this kind of mystery is being set up. So to get into more specifics, we are following Amaya. She's living in California right now. She's definitely a main character that has a lot of kind of mysterious stuff about her past, and I'm not going to get into the specifics of it, but she definitely has some like mental issues going on, which you kind of find out about right at the beginning of the book, and she's a little bit of an untrustworthy narrator because of that. Her ex-best friend, who she hasn't spoken to in 5 years' time, she's still really creeping her on social media. That's one of the things that, you know, is not great about her behavior. She's very obsessive. You can tell that right away. So she already is creeping this girl, and then sees that this girl gets engaged, and then she sees that it's to Amaya's ex-boyfriend. So she's obviously really pissed about that. And then she gets an email from her friend. Sorry, her friend's name is Kavi, if I'm saying that correctly, and this girl actually invites her to her wedding, and they haven't talked in 5 years, so it's kind of weird. But Amaya's like, yeah, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna ruin the wedding. Like, I'm gonna make sure they don't get married, because she's pissed. It's her ex-best friend and her ex-boyfriend, and there's definitely some more details there that we don't really know about. We don't really know why there was this falling out and this big dramatic thing. But yeah, she's clearly a very like emotional, potentially unhinged person. The wedding is going to be in Sri Lanka, which is where Amaya is from and Kavi is from and is still living there. So she goes back to Sri Lanka where she grew up. She still has a house there and stuff. And so we do see a thing at the very beginning, a scene where it does kind of seem like Amaya is guilty of the friend going missing / being murdered. And then we go back in time and we're seeing all this, and we're leading up, getting closer to the wedding. So where I'm at right now, she's there, she's interacting with Kavi and the family again. We're getting some hints of things that might have happened years ago. I'm definitely intrigued by what they're going to be. It doesn't seem right now that it's going to be like crazy. Like, I can kind of anticipate some of the stuff, but there probably is going to be a lot of stuff I don't expect. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's very easy to read, pretty fast-paced, intriguing, just everything that you want from a thriller, really. And I've never, you know, read any books that take place in Sri Lanka. Never really, you know, learned too much about that country and culture. So that's also kind of a bonus of reading this. It's kind of interesting as well. Our author is from there as well, Amanda. She's actually stunning as well. Yeah, so I'll probably just be reading as much as I can before I get hungry enough for dinner. I did have a snack already, so maybe I'll make dinner in like half an hour, but hopefully I still have time to read a bunch of this. I don't think I'll be able to finish before 8, but I will try. So here we are, 24 hours later, and yeah, it's 8 o'clock, so I'm gonna be ending this vlog now. But I am just over 200 pages of the way through this book, so I did not manage to finish it, but I'm pretty far into it, and honestly, I really want to finish it today. So I hope I will get time to do that, but I do have a few things I want to do now that I'm finishing this vlog. But overall, I am really liking it. I do feel like I have some theories, I have some predictions of what I think is going on and what's going to get revealed, but I don't know 100%. There is one thing that's kind of annoying though, that I feel like other people might find more annoying than I do, and it's the fact that our main character knows so much more than we do and is just choosing not to reveal it to the audience. I think it's nice in thrillers to like go through it with the main character and be like finding out things with them. I think that's why I like those sort of detective stories like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. We're really with the main character that whole time as they're solving the mystery. But something like this, we have the main character who knows a lot of the history and the past of what's happened, and she's just not sharing it with us. Like, the author's just choosing not to share it with us as the reader until, I guess, the moment that she chooses to. So that can be a little annoying, because it's like, hey, just like, can you just tell us what happened? But it's not getting to me too much. I just thought that's something that might bother you. So yeah, I hate to end it on a cliffhanger. I also don't even know if this really caught me up on my Goodreads goal because like I only finished one book. But if I finish this tonight, then I probably will be caught up. Yeah, I hate to end it on a cliffhanger, but my full review of this will be in my wrap up for the month. So make sure to check that out if you want to hear my final reading, because I think this is one of those books where like it's going to be an enjoyable thriller throughout, but it's really going to come down to the main twist kind of at the end. And I hope it surprises me because, as I said, I do have some theories going on. So that's the end of this 24-hour reading vlog. Probably my least successful one I've done because technically I only finished one book and normally I finish at least two. Oops. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, definitely let me know. Comment down below your thoughts on any of these books and give it a like and subscribe if you have not already. Hope you have a great rest of your day and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.